What's up everyone, Chrono here today playing some more Conan Exiles. If you enjoy the video, please remember to hit that like button, subscribe, share, support if you want to. And today we are going to start working on the new base. But first, before I do that, I want to give a shout out to everyone who's been subscribing and supporting and just in general helping out the channel. Yes, it means a lot to me. I want to thank you for it. And I want to keep growing the channel, and every little bit helps, so it's very much appreciated. So with that, let's get started on the base. I've decided that I'm going to build it here on this plateau right here in it's not completely centralized, but it kind of is. I've trekked up to the city for a little bit last night, and there's some corruption up there and some tough enemies, so I'm not ready for that just yet. But this area has got some small settlements around it, and it's close to this area over here, so it should be pretty good for me to start getting some better thralls soon. And I trekked over to that area just to give it a try to see how tough things were, and I'm still not ready to fight those things yet. So what I've done in the meantime, just to keep things moving, is cranked up the XP sliders on the server a little bit and tweaked some other settings just to keep the game moving. And we'll start building here because I'm not too far off from being able to build a well, and water was one of the big obstacles. Get off me. Stop. These guys are just a nuisance at this point. They used to be really tough, but now they're just a pain in the butt. So anyway, I started building a small palisade here just to kind of mark where the ramp up to this area is, and I'll probably build a better staircase or something, but I wanted to remember not to block off my my entryway, and I'm going to block off this section here, maybe put up a gate, because there is a small section of people right over there, and there's some spiders too, or at least a spider. I don't know if they commonly spawn there. These guys are a nuisance too. Not too tough to kill, but you know, another pain in the butt. Oh wait, do you have any? Nope. Alright, so I brought a few supplies with me, but a lot of the stuff that I'm going to have to get, I'm just going to have to pick it up around here. And I don't know if I'm just going to completely abandon the other base that I started on, or if I'll go back and retrieve any of the things that are down there. I'm not too worried about the thralls that were down there because they were just level 1, and I'm going to quickly replace those guys. So I've already built a handful of foundations just to start laying the groundwork, and what I'll probably do is build this out of just regular stone, and maybe even just leave it at that. I don't know, since I'm not playing PvP, it just depends on what happens in the game. And I wish there was a better way. Guess I can look at the vanity camera. Base doesn't need to be huge. We'll go with that. You know, I'm not too worried about the base getting destroyed. I don't know if there are any PvE events that will cause that just yet, so I'll probably just initially leave it as regular stone, and then, you know, maybe later on, if I want to, I'll upgrade it to the higher quality build material. We'll see. There are other priorities outside of making the base more durable. Main thing is just getting it established, and then we might do some more aesthetic work to it. But I really wanted to get into a better position to get thralls. I've upgraded my equipment some since the last episode, but one of the big issues that I have, and I hope they make some changes to this in this game, and it's not just this game, it's other games. One thing that I really hate is how fast the weapons wear down. the durability damage on them. I think it's kind of ridiculous because the amount of resources it takes to make iron weapons and armor and shields and all that stuff makes it almost not even worth it to make them, just because it takes so much to use them, and not just to craft them but to repair them. It's kind of crazy, and this is my opinion. I don't play PvP. Maybe it's a PvP balance mechanic. I don't know, but I don't like it. So I found a mod that halves the amount of damage that your equipment takes, or that at least your weapons and shields. And still, even at that, it's a lot better, but it still feels like it's too much because, one good outing with my sword, my iron sword, and I'm having to use 14 iron bars to repair it, and that adds up quick. So it's almost not worth it for me to want to use an iron weapon. I just keep my stone sword and repair it. I mean, the iron weapons do a lot more damage. Now, I still use my better armor because I don't have to repair it as often. But the obstacle to keep the iron sword repaired is a pain in the butt. Now, there are some higher level weapons out there that maybe do better. I don't know. But I haven't even built the better shield yet because of that. And one of the things in my other videos that I have mentioned was with the iron pick, that's the only way, iron pick, just the picks in general, that's the only way to get bark off of trees. And according to the wiki entry that I read, the higher quality picks did not yield any more bark. And that is not the case. I had almost 3 times as much bark using an iron pick versus the stone pick. And it makes it far more worth it to use the bark because you need so much bark to make leather. So I wanted to pass that along. And the mod that I'm using, it's on the workshop right now, that decreases the durability damage that you take on your equipment. I highly recommend it unless the devs decide to make some changes to that, which I hope they do. I'd love to see them put in like a durability slider that would allow us to change the durability settings. I mean, we can do that with thirst and hunger and XP and all that stuff. I mean, for goodness sakes, they let us run around completely nude. So I would love to see them put in some type of durability damage tweak as well. I think it would be a great option for the game, and the mod helps, but I don't think the mod is the answer. But I really do appreciate the mod author making it. It'll make me want to use the iron stuff. The iron pick, I'm not using it for stone, just because I have to use so much stone. It's not worth it, and I don't really care about. I've got to go get some more wood. I don't really care about gathering more stone with my pick because it's just, I mean, it's easy to get stone. But when it comes to hide and bark, then I definitely want to see. I am almost out of wood, I think. When it comes to hide and bark, that's when I use my iron pick. That's where it makes a difference. So let's run down here in the creepy dark and get some more wood. So I thought I'd pass that info along to you guys, and hopefully anyone that's watching the videos or playing this game, it helps out. I'll cover some more mods as I put them in. That's the only mod that I'm running right now. That's the only one I feel like I need at the moment, and it does, to me it feels like a need. I think it's something that the game needs to have changed. And the only real survival games that I've played outside of Conan were Ark, and I've played some other things like Don't Starve, Starbound, and a couple of others. And I'll tell you, one of my favorite mechanics of any of these games that I played is from Portal Knights. And if you haven't played Portal Knights, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like a survival game. It's a 3D combination of like Diablo and a survival game. It's really well done, but the point is that the mechanic for it is, instead of your weapon breaking or your pick breaking or whatever, they just become less effective. They do like half their damage or half their gathering or whatever, and then you use sharpening stones to repair them. It's great. It works. That way, you're not screwed right in the middle of a battle because your sword breaks and you may be like one iron ingot short of being able to repair it, and then you die. So I think that's a great mechanic. I wish more devs would adopt it. The other thing too, which I've not tried, like maces or clubs or war hammers in this game yet to see how well they function, but I meant to actually use my axe for this. I'm assuming that the durability works the same, because it just seems that way across the board. But point being, if you think about it from a common sense perspective, again, I've not tested this on warhammers or clubs, so I may be completely off base and wrong on this, which I'll test it at some point. But if you think about it logically, if you're using a warhammer, it's got this giant metal head on it, and that giant metal head isn't something that's going to quickly break. It's a huge, thick chunk of metal. Now, the shaft of the weapon, that's a different story. That may break, so you may have to repair the shaft. But as far as the entire weapon, that isn't something that I think you would have to worry about on something like a warhammer as much as you would a sword, for example. I can see having to sharpen a sword. That makes sense. You want to keep your sword sharp for battle. But an iron sword isn't going to just break after you hit 10 enemies with it. Now, maybe if you're in a battle with a boss, you may get into some overpowered boss that breaks your sword. But that might be like a random crit roll or something that would determine that. Anyway, I'm going on about it, I know. Point is, the mod's great. I recommend it. It helps out a lot. And having put that mod in and making some other changes, that's what made me decide to come up here and start building my new base and not dump any more resources into the smaller base down there. And I'm close enough to water where I can make a couple trips every now and then just to refill my water skin. And one of the first things that I'm going to put up here is a campfire. That way I can cook the food from all the crap that I'm killing around the base. So we'll be doing that. So I'm going to gather some more resources, do some more building, and we'll be back. So check it out. The bottom level is done, at least for the bottom room, and down here I'm going to put most of the important crafting parts that we need for the fundamentals, at least. And then I've started on the second floor, and on the second floor I've already put down a bed so that I've got a respawn point, and I'm going to continue to build out the ceilings around the perimeter of the base here. And I don't know how far out it will let us build these ceilings without having to have another support. So I'm going to build out the perimeter and see how that looks, and then I'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and at least put 2 more wall height walls all the way around the perimeter here. And then I also want to build like a patio type platform thing maybe around the perimeter, all the way around. I don't know. I'm going to see how that works out. But it's coming along very nicely, and I'm really happy with the way it's turning out so far. And I'm pretty happy with the location overall too. So I'm going to continue to work on this and see how much I can get done on the second floor before we end the video today, and I'll be back. So check it out, everybody. The bottom floor is completely enclosed now with ceilings above it, although it's kind of weird how those rotated. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. Got the steps up to the second floor, got it started, and put in the first corner, so I'll go up one more level. And then what I think I'm going to do is leave this like this and maybe put some fencing or rails around here and move this bed back inside after I get the walls up. Put in a couple of doors and some windows up here. And then once the walls are built, I'm going to look at doing the sloped ceilings for the top of it, because I think that's going to be enough room. And then I'm going to start working on putting in the crafting stations down here, because I have to have those crafting stations before I can do anything else too fancy. So I'm going to call it quits here for today. Had a pretty productive day. Thank you guys for watching. I'm glad you tuned in, and again, I appreciate all the support everyone's given, all the subscriptions, the likes and everything like that. So again, if you like the video, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, share, support if you want to, and hope to see you guys in the next one.